Good morning, children. Now, in today's class, we are going to study about the Raoult's law. Now, how this Raoult's law works, that we'll see. There are two ways we can understand this concept. When we will see the vapor pressure of liquid solution. That means when two liquids which are volatile in nature, this solution, how it works, how the vapor pressure exerts over the liquid, having the equilibrium between them is exerted, that we have to study here under the Raoult's law. Before proceeding to the Raoult's law, first of all that you should understand is vapor pressure. Now what is vapor pressure? It is the pressure exerted by the vapors on the surface of the liquid when the pressure, that is the water vapors and the liquid, is in equilibrium to one another at a given temperature. This you can study very well by having a container, that is a beaker which is sealed here and having the opening which is connected to the manometer, that here it is connected to the manometer here, having mercury in it attached, and this whole thing is in a thermostat container. Okay, this whole thing is in a thermostat. Now what is there? Here there is a liquid is there, and here there is vapors present over here. These vapors are in equilibrium to this solution, and these vapors exert pressure. How this? Because this water is, if we have taken this whole thing under in thermostat, that means the heat is completely heated, that is the solution is going to boil. It is made up of two types of liquid is there. Or now without studying the Raoult's law, if we simply see the vapor pressure, this is the solution of water which is exerting, creating vapors, and these vapors are then, this means compressing, forming the equilibrium with the two. These vapors when it move towards this manometer, then mercury, movement of mercury can be seen. So in this way we can understand what is the vapor pressure exerted. This vapor pressure depends upon two main factors. One is the nature of the liquid, by which this vapor pressure we have to study. If the intermolecular force of attraction or the bonding that is present between the molecules of that liquid is weaker, then the number of vapors formed will be more, and more easily it breaks and forms the vapors which exerts more pressure over here. But if the molecules bonded between the given solvent is stronger, then the breaking is not easily possible, and if the number of molecules which is coming out in the vapor form is lesser. So less vapor pressure will be exerted. First, it depends upon the nature of the liquid. Second, it depends upon the temperature. If temperature is more, that means you have studied very well that with a high temperature, that vapors, the molecules of liquid, it breaks, forms a vapor. Higher the temperature, more water vapor will be formed, and that will convert into vapor pressure is more. Lesser the temperature, condensation process takes place instead of vaporization. So the vapor pressure exerted by the vapors will be less as the number of vapors will be less. Now we will see that what is Raoult's law. Okay, it is the process in a solution. The vapors are, when the solution is there, of two miscible liquids, and both are volatile. Two volatile miscible liquids are taken. Okay, now both the liquids are volatile, so both will form the vapors over it. So the pressure exerted by each of the vapor type of the vapor is equal to the mole fraction multiplied by the pressure exerted by that particular solvent in its pure form. Okay, so total pressure will be the pressure exerted by each of the component, and it depends upon the mole fraction, number of moles that is present in it. So here, if two liquids we have taken A and B, then mole fraction will be, suppose XA and XB is the mole fraction of both the volatile liquids that we are mixing together. Pressure exerted by the liquid A is P naught A, and the pressure exerted by B will be P naught B. So we can, according to the Raoult's law, how it works? Pressure exerted by this pressure exerted by the component A will be equal to the mole fraction A into pressure exerted by the component alone A. Total pressure exerted will be depending upon one of this component. Secondly, the pressure exerted by B will be equal to the mole fraction B into the pressure exerted by that particular solvent, that is the B, another one. Okay, in this way, this formula will defines the Raoult's law. Now, see children, now we have till now known that pressure exerted by each of the components. So, total pressure exerted will be the pressure exerted by both the solvents, that is PA plus PB. This is the pressure exerted by the solvent 1A, that is another is by the solvent B. So, we can put the values of this. Pa is equal to X is the mole fraction of the component A having the pressure exerted by the same component A. The partial pressure exerted by that component plus by putting the values of PB as XP and P naught P. On solving this, we can find that total pressure exerted will be equal to, instead of writing XA, we can write down 1 minus XP, as we know that XA plus XB is equal to 1. That is the mole fraction of the component A plus mole fraction of the component B is equal to 1. So, we can write XA can also equal to 1 minus XB. So, this value can be added here, and then solving further, taking out the common factor, and then by getting this complete here. This common factor is that by multiplying P naught A with this 1 minus XB, we will get this equation, and then taking out the common XB, we will get the final equation resulting the total pressure exerted by the two miscible liquids which are volatile in nature. So, this is the equation we are getting. Now, using this equation, that is the pressure exerted on the solution by the components, we can also see the same thing with the help of a graph also. In this graph, we will see the relationship between the vapor pressure and the mole fraction of an ideal gas. Okay, in this we will try to understand the wave concept. Now, here in this graph you can see when at the initial stage, out of the two components, we will talking about the pressure exerted by one of the component, that is the mole fraction of A. We are talking about the component, two components we have taken A and B, out of which one component XA, which is the mole fraction of XA is 1. So, the pressure exerted, you can see, has given somewhere up here. So, pressure exerted by this component will be shown by this point. Okay, with the time, as the mole fraction, because whole of this component has been used up, this component has been changed to the vapor phase. The pressure exerted by this component A is shown by this point. With the time, this component mole fraction decreases. In this corner, another component, that is the P, is having its pressure exerted. That is the number of molecular vapors that is formed by this component B is shown from this point here. The pressure exerted by this point is P naught P. So, here you can see one graph showing this going downward, that is the pressure exerted by the component A will be equal to the mole fraction into this component P naught P, that is the pressure exerted by A. So, here also you can see the another one, here also you can see the pressure exerted by B will be given by the mole fraction into the pressure exerted by that particular component. So, total pressure exerted by will be equal to P, common capital P, which will be equal to PA plus PB. So, this way the pressure exerted, the vapor pressure exerted by the two volatile liquids that are miscible with one another can be shown, which represents the Raoult's law. Now, we will see that how this Raoult's law is helpful. What are the important points on the basis of which this Raoult's law works? First point is that there must be two liquids which should be in a volatile state and should be completely miscible. Homogeneous mixture of the two solutions should be there. Second, it depends upon the mole fraction of the That vapor phase depends upon the mole fraction of the component which are mixed together. Okay? And third is that liquid pairs, there are some examples which obeys the Raoult's law. There are some examples which obey Raoult's law, and we call it as that solution which obeys the Raoult's law, we call it as an ideal solution. Some of the example is benzene and toluene. You will say hexane and heptane, then chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. Then fourth point that comes here is that the composition, that is the composition of vapor phase, whatever the vapors are formed, that depends, which is in equilibrium to the solution, depends upon the partial pressure exerted. So these 4 points that has to be completed, so that then only we will call it as the Raoult's law. Here also you can see the component that the pressure exerted, that is the mole fraction of the component A, is the partial pressure exerted by the A divided by the total pressure exerted by both the components. In this way, we can find out the solution. Another component Y, that is the mole fraction of another component P. We can say PB, that is the pressure exerted by the B, by the total pressure exerted by all the components that are present here. So in this way, we will see that how the Raoult's law is obeyed when the two solutions are mixed together in one another. Now we will see that how the solids, suppose the two substances that are mixed, one is the solute and another solvent. Now another solvent or another solute which we are mixing, like in water we mix glucose and all, or urea we mix it. Then one component is volatile but another component is not. The another component which is not a volatile does not contribute to the total pressure exerted, because they will not create vapors. Instead of that, they will create some hindrance over the surface of the solution to be able to evaporate. In this you can see. Now here we will see. Here one beaker we have taken where only pure solvent is taken. Pure solvent. Okay. This is a pure solvent taken. The number of molecules that is present of this is of only the pure solvent. Okay. And the vapors exerted by this is only of the pure solvent. When it is come up, the vapors are only of the pure substance, you can see, and the whole of this layer is of pure substance. Now here if we take the solid and liquid, okay, we are now just going through another concept of Raoult's law. Here if suppose a mixture is there, this is a mixture of solute with the solvent, okay, now solid with the solvent. Here again you will find that some of the spaces is being taken up by the non-volatile solutes. You can see the non-volatile solute is taking some places here. So you can see here some of the places this non-volatile solute along with the solvent is being taken up. So the number of vapors that is formed will be less. Number of vapors formed will be less as because only less pure substance, that is the solvent which is present here, will contribute to the lesser amount as compared to the pure substance. So here you will see the pressure exerted. This is pressure exerted by this vapor is up till here, but here the difference of pressure is very less. Only because the non-volatile solute is not participating in forming a vapor pressure. So in this way, the Raoult's law can be explained with the help of solid in liquid. Okay. In this, according to the Raoult's law, for the solution in which non-volatile substance is present, depends upon total vapor pressure, that depends upon mole fraction of the solvent, only the solvent that is present there, into the vapor pressure exerted by only the pure substance that is present here. So in this way, we have completed, or I have tried my level best, children, to explain you about the Raoult's law. Now children, you can see the difference between the Raoult's law and Henry's law. Both the equations are same. In both the cases, you will find the pressure exerted by the component will be equal to the mole fraction of the component that is present in the solution. The only difference is there you will find in the proportionality constant. In Raoult's law, you will find that the proportionality constant is P naught A. That is the pressure exerted by the pure solvent itself. Whereas in Henry's law, you will see the proportionality constant as Kh. This is the difference between the two, that is Raoult's law and Henry's law.